What kind of leaders do we need for the 21st century? We need someone who can bring their authentic self to their people every day. We need someone who can express themselves when it matters the most. We need someone who can broaden the horizons and think beyond numbers. Think beyond winning and losing. All these qualities are tough to see in one single person, and luckily, we have one of them today. She has goals driven by values and believes in winning together as a team to make this world a better place to live in. She can probably look at the impossible in its eye and say, "You are possible." And these are the kind of leaders we need in this game of infinity. She is the poster girl of our organization and a Wonder Woman of the tech industry. Let's welcome Sarah Franklin, our Chief Marketing Officer at Salesforce, to DevTalkies.
Thank you so much.
What's your resting heart rate?
My resting heart rate is about 50 beats per minute. I track it regularly on my watch, on my Garmin. I love it, especially as I run. So that's about my heart rate. It goes up when my teenage daughter does some things, but that's my resting heart rate.
Yeah, we are testing you now. What are the names of all the reindeers, Sarah?
So all the reindeers, oh my gosh. What are they? It's like Prancer and, Prancer and Vixen and Comet and Cupid and Donner and Dasher and Blitzen and Mittens or Rudolph. I think those are the reindeers. I don't remember all of them, but
I think you got 9 of them. I don't know the other one, by the way. On a lighter note, when we put your journey as a leader on the graph, when we see your rise as a leader on the graph, the only stock that was comparable to it was the Tesla stock. Did you ever see that?
So my career path, my trajectory, it has been a wild ride and full of lots of fun and adventure and great relationships like with you and the team. And it has just been a journey. And, what's really interesting to me is how everything started, where I was going about my career and I was, really interested in doing well, and, I wanted to get the next level. And, I felt like I was at a place where, I was really focused on my job and my career and getting a promotion. And at one time even, I felt so passionately about it that I actually left Salesforce for a little bit. I took what I call a short paid hiatus. I followed my then boss to him. He was the CMO at AWS, and I realized, how much I missed Salesforce. I missed our culture. I missed my family. And I came back very quickly, and I came back with a purpose. And I really leaned into that purpose, and I just leaned into the love that we have here and with our community and with our products and with our purpose and mission. And when you do that, when you lean into your purpose, like that's when success finds you. And it started with, something as simple as a hashtag, awesome admin, and, a brand promise of good stuff, no fluff. We wanted to have great things that could help people do awesome stuff. And we talked about it in a very, simple human way, not a lot of jargon, not a lot of stuff, and we're just real and authentic. And then you see just, take on more, do more, bring more to that, and you just grow. And it's really been an interesting time. And, when you're looking at the holidays, New Year's, and we're in the midst of all this, COVID pandemic stuff, it really makes you reflect. And you reflect on, where you are, how you got here, who you're here with. I'm here with the most amazing people. I get to work together with all of you every day. I'm so blessed. I'm so humbled at that opportunity. I get to learn every day from each and every one of you. And I have the incredible opportunity to help and to give back. And I think those are things that I just lean into every day, that when you, from bringing a beginner's mind to always looking out for others and wanting to celebrate the success of other people and elevate our trailblazers and champion equality and recognize privilege and do your best every day to be helpful and humble and honest and giving. That's what people need in this world. It's what they want. And I have found success. My career has grown. One of my most favorite things is that my youngest daughter, she sees that my title says president and CMO. And she says, Mommy, I want to be a president. And I tell her every day, I ask her, I have 4 affirmations. I say, who's strong? Who's brave? Who's smart? Who's healthy?
Mm-hmm.
And then I ask, who can be anything she dreams? And the answer to all of those questions is me. And that is something that every one of you every day, whether your aspirations are in your job, in your life, in your relationships, in your physical health, in your mental health, in anything that you want to do, just believe in yourself and focus on how you can help others. And that's really the recipe for success.
Absolutely. The biggest advantage you've got as a leader is people connect with you. And that is what inspires them a lot. That is one of them doing that. Sarah, which brings to my next question. Let's talk about your pinned tweet. I go back to that tweet at least once every week whenever I need some inspiration. These were your stepping stones to what you're today. But back then, as a student, as a young girl, to receive all these rejections I've seen those dates. I zoomed them in. I've seen those dates. They're coming in one single month. How did you convert them into stepping stones, Sarah? What was the journey there?
So yeah, the tweet shares how I was, back in the day applying for jobs, and when you would mail them in on your applications and you would wait for letters back, and I got a lot of rejection. And it was hard to face rejection. Rejection is hard. And it's hard when people tell you, like, you don't have the skills we're looking for. You don't match our requirements. What you hear is you're not good enough, and you're like, wow. And that you can be like, well, you're right. I'm not good enough. I'm going to stop. And I decided not to stop. If anything, you look at that rejection and you have to turn it into motivation, and you have to be like, okay, what am I going to do to prove them wrong? To prove them that they should have taken a chance on me. I might not have had the exact work experience, but I did have a really diverse set of things that I had done. And what I did was I actually learned from that moment that I needed to build a relationship with the recruiters at these organizations. And what I did was I worked at to chair a career fair for our engineering school. And turns out when you chair the career fair, you have to talk to all the recruiters because you have to get them to the career fair. And so that was my stone, was I was like, okay, I'm going to meet you, and then I'm going to razzle dazzle you with my skills. And then they know you better. Because I didn't have a network. I didn't have rich parents. I didn't have connections in the industry. It's like, the slate is stacked against you. And so you have to find what you can do and just not let the rejection get to your heart. Do be strong enough to take feedback, though. Be like, okay, what can I learn? What can I do better? How can I improve? And so I did that. And, I like to say, prove them wrong. They should have taken a risk on me. But that's what everybody can do, is just always focus on learning. Don't let it get you down, and just keep trying. It's, let no be your biggest motivation to show them that you can do it.
That's going to connect with a lot of people today, because almost all of us face failures. In fact, 100% of all of us face failures it depends on how we rise from there. And that is what you have shown us. Thank you so much for that, Sarah. And Sarah, my next question is, by the way, Connections is a huge hit. When you said no is your biggest motivator, it just took me back to Connections. The way you are, getting those inspiring interviews done with some of the great leaders in the industry, it's truly inspirational. But how does it feel to be on the other side of the river today? You're being interviewed.
It's much harder being on this side. I don't like talking about myself. I don't like shining the spotlight here. I like shining the spotlight, on others. And so, but if it's an opportunity to share something that is helpful to other people and inspires people, then that makes me happy. I just believe wholeheartedly that when you focus on others and you give to others and you elevate others and you are helpful to others, karma comes back. And there's no better gift or no better feeling than the feeling of helping others, but also learning about others. And that's what the Connection series, it's been so great, as you said, to meet all these incredible people, to hear their stories, more than just the business side, but the personal side. And so being on the other side, it's always like, little imposter birdie sits there and talks to your ears like, why are they talking to you? Who cares about you? But you have to say like, okay, go away. It's good. And just have fun. We got to have more fun, especially.
No, we want you to talk about yourself more because you inspire a lot of people around. And by the way, the Trailblazer community in India and Asia have $1 million question. You were supposed to come for Trailer DX, which has happened a couple of years back in Bangalore. It was a huge hit. Are you coming this time? Is the question. It's not me, it's the Trailblazer community asking you.
Yeah, no, I want to get there. This COVID thing has really thrown wrenches in our plans. So yes, I want to get out there, and I'm hopeful for 2022 that it's going to be a banner year, that we can come, and the timing of the year, it depends with like monsoon season and everything, like when we're gonna come and where we go. But right. I trust that we'll get all the logistics squared away. But I do want to get out there when it's safe and when we can come. And I don't know if it's like November, December. I don't know the best timing. You tell me the best timing. But I definitely want to get out there with the community. It's the most vibrant community there in India.
It's been tough for India the last 2 years, and we haven't met in person with the whole community. We are badly waiting for an occasion or an opportunity to meet each other, and we hope Trailer DX is one of those conferences. And yeah, November it is, or December it is. Awesome. Sarah, you're a great leader, and over the last 10 years you might have worked with some incredible leaders on the way, and each moment is a learning for you. What was that one leadership lesson you will always keep with you, and who was that leader?
It's a great question on a leadership lesson. I've learned many. I think one of the most important leadership lessons I've learned is to always have a truth teller, and always have somebody in your world that will tell you the truth, and that you need to have the courage to listen to that truth, because it might not always be what you want to hear. And that's been one of the interesting things to me, is that, and something I value so much with our relationship I have with the Trailblazer community, is that y'all have known me for a long time. And I hope there's a trust relationship there. And yes. And there's a relationship where there's no fear of telling the truth, because I hope there's trust that I'm not like some tyrant monster that's gonna like, be upset. But when people that I meet now, it's very interesting, the dynamic where people don't always tell you the truth. They'll tell you what you want to hear. And it's a very important distinction that as a leader, you need to be willing to listen to things that you don't want to hear. And that's how you keep a beginner's mind. That's how you stay relevant. That's how you stay learning. That's how you stay connected, is to always be listening and to be asking for the truth. And the other leadership lesson that I've learned as my time becomes more and more limited is to really like focus on to understand that where I need to spend my time is not on the things that are going awesome, which means it's not as fun, right? It's like, you're just like, okay, it's fun to work in my wheelhouse. It's fun to work on things that are going great. But is that where I'm needed? If the team's doing great, do they need me, right? Empower them more if they're doing well. And this was, I remember distinctly one year, I think I had 5 keynotes or something in my like world, between developer, admin, we were doing architect, we had platform, and we had Trailhead. And the Trailhead team got really upset at me. They're like, you have not been in any of our keynote reviews. You have not been in tune. And I'm like, they're like, do you care about us anymore, Sarah? Do you care? I was like, of course I care. Oh my gosh, I care more than anything. But you know what? You got this. You don't need me. You don't need me. And I mean, developer, like, I mean, Christoph's got that thing like dialed, you know, and developer, I have feedback, but I love watching the team shine. And that is another just leadership lesson, is that when your team is doing great, it's time to back away and watch them shine, you know, be like the proud parent that's like so excited, and to spend your time with the people that really that need your help. It's a hard thing because you want to gravitate towards the things that you are best at or easiest or come naturally. But I say those are like the 2 biggest lessons. Is one, like, be willing to listen to the truth. Make sure you have a truth teller around you. And then 2, be mindful how you spend your time, and be willing to make room for, or be willing to not always spend it on the things that you are biased towards or are in your wheelhouse mostly or are doing super well, because that's not where you're most needed.
Absolutely, Sarah. In fact, what's fascinating is in my interview with Krish Landy, she exactly mentioned this. When my team is doing well, I'm right at the back. I'm not at the front. I'm watching them.
I know, like DevTalkies. I'm like,
awesome.
DevTalkies are great. They're awesome. Keep going. Do more. And I love them. And I send them around to everybody. And DevTalkies was an inspiration for connections. I was like, look at that. It's fun. It's, you know, not some boring interview like snooze. You know, you do like game shows and you have like fun stuff going on, and you're just connected to your audience, you know, and that is so important. And you want that unbridled creativity. You know, why should I come in and like bring my dumb ideas? You know, like, you're doing great. Let it go. Like, you have to have that confidence also as a leader to be like, wow, not invented here, but great idea. Do more of that. Instead of having this need to like put your stamp on it, you know, it doesn't always have to be your stamp, you know. If there's something great, awesome, you know, do more of it. And where did the creativity come from? Yeah. Awesome, do more of it, share it.
Yes.
It's something which we all can learn to do better at, because we really want to own. But the more that you let go, actually, the more powerful you, in a way, become.
That's a wonderful point you made, Sarah. The more you let go, the more you'll get. I truly agree with you on that. Sarah, you've taken reins as a CMO at a very challenging and a sensitive time. What kind of a leader did this situation demand, because you were representing Salesforce as a community brand and as an organization as well? What kind of a mindset did it need from you?
Yeah, so I've been in the company 13 years, but in role as CMO for less than a year. And as you mentioned, have done multiple things.
Yeah.
And coming into CMO, Brett and Mark gave me some very explicit things they wanted to do. One, they wanted to relaunch ourselves, like bring back our motion of like a cadence of stuff we were doing. We kind of stopped, when the pandemic started, and we just kind of stopped all the things that we were used to doing, which was good. We made pivots, but we were used to getting out there on the road, meeting with our Trailblazers, sharing our innovations, doing all that. And so that was one thing. The second thing was to take this magic that we've created with Trailhead and with the Trailblazer community and integrate it and elevate it. And that was the mindset that came into, was like, okay, how do I do that? How do we do that? And then also, how do we lead the team, which is feeling afraid, scared, burnt out, uncertain, all of these emotions that has happened during COVID. And and so leading the team through that, creating this sense of team during the pandemic, and inspiring everyone and telling them it's going to be okay, we're going to get through this. And so that was it's a hard thing to do, to take on a team when you don't you don't have the opportunity to do like what I did with Trailhead, which was go meet people in person day one, right? I couldn't do that. But the other thing is, one of my core values is courage, and had to have the courage to innovate our way through it. We started doing in-person events. We were together safely. I got more versed on COVID and testing and everything than I ever would have imagined. And now we're doing that. The teams are getting together safely. Our customers, our Trailblazers, are getting together safely. And right now we're in the phase with Omicron is like, catching, and it's becoming a thing. But I still have the courage that with technology and science as our guide, we can still be together safely. Scaled sequential testing works.
Absolutely.
It turns out that whether you're vaccinated or not, I can test you and see if you have the virus. And if we test and scaled sequential testing, we know people don't have the virus, we can be together safely. And that takes courage, and that's a very important part of leadership, is having the courage to tackle these uncertain, crazy, unknown problems, and be willing to also model the behavior. I'm here in the office now. Like, I've been coming to the office and I've been meeting people. I've been traveling.
Right.
It was nice to travel. And I want to get there to India, as we talked about. So
you have said it twice. You have said it twice in DevTalkies today, and you better be there in India next year. We are all waiting.
You're going to play the episode on replay until I come, right?
We will cut the teaser and just play it on and on until you come to India. Sarah, I'll one of the things, you've done a lot of things after you took that responsibility as a CMO, but one of the things we loved is we just received your email today about wellness holidays. It means a lot to us, especially these holidays. They give us time to spend with our family, and thank you so much for that, because as an organization, Salesforce is setting up that example for other companies to follow, which is very important.
The async days are super important for our wellness and for taking the time. And it's just nice because it's coordinated across everyone. So it's not like you're just taking a day off, but then you're like, oh, I know I'm missing that meeting. I know I'm missing that email.
Right.
But when you all coordinate it, you're like, okay, I'm not going to be missing an email because like all my team's missing it too,
Fear of missing out. Thank you again for that. We are really happy with that, and we also know we're going to get them next year as well. Okay, it's been a pleasure interviewing you today, Sarah, at DevTalkies. And how do you feel being part of DevTalkies, by the way?
Oh, I feel great. I love it. This is fun.
Yeah, the plan is to make it more fun next year. We plan on reaching in the format, and we want more inspiration. By the way, we are going to copy some elements of connections.
Oh,
as well,
good.
just letting
See,
you
we're
know.
learning together, right? Have fun. Well, thank you.
And another thing is, yes, before you thank us, there is this tradition of gifting our guests at DevTalkies. We know you run a lot, and we also know that when you exercise so much, you need proper nutrition. So we are gifting you a nice cold press juicer so that you can have some fresh fruit juices every day morning along with your
Thank you.
kids.
I love that. That'll be so great. I'll have to share some photos.
You're welcome. We're going to send it to you very soon.
Thank you so much. It's been so great to spend the morning and your evening together.